Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. The African island nation of Comoros has announced a temporary halt to fuel price increases following widespread riots that resulted in one death and several injuries. The decision, reported by Thai Sounds, comes after a significant 40% hike in gasoline and diesel prices, which the government implemented on May 9th in response to soaring global oil costs. These costs escalated sharply due to the effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz following the Iran war, causing fuel prices worldwide to jump by 60% to 100%. As one of the world's poorest countries with a per capita GDP of only about 1,700 side base, Comoros' population is heavily impacted by such price adjustments as fuel and food constitute a large portion of their expenses. The drastic increase led to nationwide strikes and violent clashes between protesters and security forces, particularly on Anjouan Island, where one person died and 5 were injured. Energy Minister Abubakar Said Only stated on May 16 that the government, led by President Azali Assoumani, heeded the people's cries and acted to maintain national peace. Following the government's announcement, transport unions and business leaders ended their strike. The North Korean women's soccer team, known as Nagoyang, or Hometown, arrived at Incheon International Airport near Seoul on the afternoon of May 17, after traveling via Beijing, according to GG Press. The team is scheduled to compete against South Korea's Suwon FC in the semifinals of the Women's Asia Champions League in Suwon on May 20. This visit marks the first time a North Korean sports delegation has come to South Korea in approximately 7.5 years, with the last visit being in December 2018. Upon their arrival, the North Korean players, dressed in suits and wearing red badges on their chests, did not respond to the assembled media and quickly boarded a waiting bus. The South Korean Unification Ministry had approved the visit for 39 players and officials from May 17 to 24. While North Korea currently regards South Korea as its primary hostile country, the administration of South Korean President Lee Jae-myung appears keen to leverage Nagoyang's visit as an opportunity to break the current state of frozen inter-Korean relations. South Korean media reported that the Unification Ministry plans to provide approximately 300 million won, about 32 million yen, in support to groups cheering for the North Korean team. The winners of the May 20 semifinal will advance to the final match in Suwon on May 23. Al Jazeera reports that FIFA Secretary General Matthias Grafström held constructive and positive discussions with Iranian football chief Mehdi Taj regarding Iran's participation in the 2026 World Cup. Despite ongoing regional conflict involving the U.S. and Israel and previous concerns over visa issues, including Taj's denial of entry to Canada, FIFA expressed confidence in Iran's involvement. Grafström confirmed that solutions were offered for Iran's 10 raised concerns, though he did not elaborate on specific visa arrangements for players in the U.S. Iran had requested to move their matches to co-host Mexico, but FIFA President Gianni Infantino maintained that all games would proceed as originally scheduled in the United States. The Iranian squad plans to train in Turkey before heading to their U.S. base in early June, with their first match against New Zealand set for June 15th in Los Angeles. According to Thai Sounds, Samsung Electronics Union is set to begin an 18-day strike on Thursday, May 21st, but the company is already experiencing financial losses due to preemptive production adjustments. To mitigate the impact of a potential factory shutdown, Samsung has initiated a warm shutdown process, limiting new wafer input in the initial stages of production and gradually reducing operating rates. This measure alone has led to significant losses, with media outlets like Dong-A Ilbo highlighting the astronomical costs associated with even brief halts in continuous 24-hour semiconductor factory operations. Major clients, including Apple and HP, are expressing significant concern. They are frequently contacting Samsung to inquire about the likelihood of the strike, the potential scale of supply shortages, and Samsung's contingency plans, fearing they may not receive their orders on time. The South Korean government is also closely monitoring the situation. Prime Minister Kim Min-sik has stated that if the strike inflicts severe damage on the national economy, the government will employ all available means, including invoking emergency adjustment rights to prohibit industrial action for 30 days. Industry Minister Kim Young-kwon previously warned that a factory shutdown could lead to daily production shortfalls of up to 1 trillion Korean won, approximately 21 billion TWD, with potential losses reaching 100 trillion won if wafers currently in processing are damaged. Experts also caution that beyond immediate production halts, the strike could severely damage Samsung's reputation, potentially causing customers to diversify orders and disrupt the company's long-term business and investment strategies. Indonesian Coordinating Minister for Economic Affairs Erlangga Hartarto and Belarusian Foreign Minister Maxim Ryzhenkov met in Minsk on May 15, 2026, to discuss strengthening bilateral cooperation. This crucial meeting was held in preparation for Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko's planned visit to Indonesia in July 2026. According to Antara, the ministers finalized a measurable roadmap for collaboration across various sectors, including trade, investment, humanitarian missions, social affairs, and culture. Discussions also covered plans for opening direct flights, aligning visa policies to boost mobility for tourists and business actors, and Indonesia's intention to establish an embassy in Minsk. Both sides explored new avenues for industrial growth, such as electric vehicles, semiconductors, and securing potassium fertilizer supplies from Belarus for Indonesia's food security goals. The ratification process of the Indonesia-Eurasian Economic Union Free Trade Agreement, IEAU-FTA, was also addressed, with Belarus awaiting presidential approval and Indonesia aiming to complete ratification in the second half of 2026. Additionally, the forum discussed exchanges of students and professional workers, with Minister Hartarto welcoming opportunities to strengthen national human capital in STEM fields, aligning with President Prabowo Subianto's priorities. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.